Morning, everybody. Daniel Whited here in Denver, Colorado, and Dr. Kirk Fisnick is with us today on the Doctor's Clinic call, where the world is your waiting room. And we have just moved into what I feel is revolutionary territory when it comes to stem cell research and stem cell stimulation, and even the detoxing of the glycation of the cells, and supporting the body and doing that process with a product called A.G.E pill, along with we all got to hear about last night on a call too as well, a pill, a formula called RIPT, which is a muscle. It's just even a muscle healing. It heals up the damaged muscles and restores it. But Dr. Kirk Fisnick, good morning. And, I was going to ask you what's on your mind, but that's a dangerous question. But what are you thinking about, and where are we headed today?
Well, after listening to the call last night with T3 with Thomas, I figured that we better follow up with having a call on muscle. Why is muscle so darn important?
Well, that makes sense to me. It makes up a big portion of your body to start with, and muscle dictates metabolism. Those are some of the basic things that we know. But as far as real nutrition for the muscle and the properties to go in and heal muscle, there's not much out there that actually has been effective until now.
Yeah. Well, and the whole thing is that if we take a look at all the new studies, they used to teach us that, you want to do cardiovascular exercise. As you age, when you get to be, over the age of 50, start doing cardiovascular. That's all we hear. And I went to that anti-aging seminar. I go to the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and I go to their seminars. And they were talking about that we have to not just worry about the cardiovascular muscle, but we have to start looking at what do we do to keep the muscles strong in the body, the skeletal muscle, because it's so important. Because if you lose the skeletal muscle, they've shown that it causes decline in cognitive health. It shows decline in the health of the bones. It causes decline in the health of hormones, all these different things, and really, it's kind of amazing when you look at like somebody who's, say, like my kid's age or your kid's age, a healthy 25-year-old, their heart's going to pump 2.5 quarts of blood a minute. But when you get to be about 65, it drops down to about 1.5 quarts. And when it gets down to an 80-year-old, their heart only pumps about 1 quart per minute. So you can see they've dropped by over half. And this can cause some problems. And if we can keep the muscles strong, one of the things is that we're going to keep that heart muscle working the way that it is. And so it's pretty amazing. Here we're coming out with a product at the same time that all the research is saying that we need to really start working on this.
Well, if and properly feed the muscle and even detoxing the muscle is in what we've learned about muscles. But you just mentioned something. It's totally changed. But what you just mentioned something. So a depleted muscle also weakens the bones, and I'm thinking about bone calcium level as well. Muscles have to have the calcium and magnesium as well in order to operate and fire off properly. I'll tell you this, Doc, with the H pill, my strength has gone up, and I don't know exactly how to explain that. You can, because you understand all that. What's my strength going to do when it comes to and we talk about all the amino acids? A lot of people say, well, amino acids, this and that and whatever. What makes this particular formulation of amino acids with our RIP formulation that comes in little sachets that you open and you mix with water? I'm assuming that's how it's going to work. What makes it so different?
Yeah. Well, let's. I kind of wrote down a list of questions this morning. I was thinking, okay, what are people going to ask us? Because that's what this call is for. Let's educate people. Those of you that are listening, those of you that are listening to the recording, let's educate you. What is SiselRipt and why is it so important? And so, DW, I think the first question is, you know, what's an amino acid? A lot of people don't understand that, right? And so really simply, amino acids are the cellular building blocks.
You still there?
Nearly every physiological function.
Say that again. Your phone cut out there. We heard the word cellular building block, and then you stopped.
Oh, okay. So amino acids are the cellular building blocks of every protein in your body, and they have a role in almost every physiological function that takes place in your body. So you need them.
Okay. And don't we have those also in the SpectraMax?
Well, in the SpectraMax we have minerals and we have antioxidants. We don't have amino acids.
Huh. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
And so as we look at this, there, you know, people say, well, what do you mean by essential? Like, you know, when you talk about essential minerals, essential trace minerals that are found in the SpectraMax, you know, you described that really good. But what's the essential amino acid? Is that there's 20 amino acids that our body needs, and in human biology, there's 20 essential or 20 amino acids.
So they're kind of like essential, like they're mandatory. It's like you can't live without them.
You need all 20 of them, but 11 of them considered essential. And when we're talking essential with amino acids, it's a little different than when we're talking about minerals, trace minerals. Non-essential amino acids, there's 11 of them. Your body, what it means is that your body can actually manufacture. You can synthesize 11 of the amino acids that your body needs. But 9 of the 20 dietary amino acids, your body has to get them from the diet. And these are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, valine, and tryptophan. And if you take a look at the ones that I just listed, and you take a look at the product labeling for the product for the RIP product, you're going to find that that's what we've included in there is these essential amino acids. And so when amino acids, when they get together, they connect together by what we call peptide bonds, and we've talked about that before on the doctor's clinic. And then when you connect the peptides together, then what you get is you get a polypeptide, which is another word for protein. And so that's how amino acids make the proteins, the muscles in your body. Muscle is the main reservoir for amino acids, and you need protein to build muscle mass.
Well, that makes sense. That makes a little bit more sense. So let me get my numbers straight here. Let's go back to the beginning. There's 20 essential amino acids. There's 20.
No, there's 20 amino acids.
Hang on. 20 amino acids, and 11 essential, or was that 9 essential?
9 essential.
Okay. That's the number I wanted to clarify right there was the 9. Okay, so they're mandatory. You have to have them. And how many of these amino acids out of the 20 are in our RIP product and maybe other products?
So we have all 9 of the essential ones in our RIP product.
So that gets a triple star. Perfect.
Yeah, so when you look at it now you take and you look at this, you know, kind of build on this a little bit so everybody can understand this. And you can go back and listen to this call again. But leucine, isoleucine, and valine, they're called what we call branched chain amino acids. And what that means is they have branches on them like a tree. And the branched chain amino acids, they're vital for energy production and muscle metabolism. And they don't stimulate muscle protein synthesis on their own, but if you don't have the branched chain amino acids, then you have a decreased rate of muscle protein synthesis. What that means is that so 3 of these, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, you need them to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, and most of us aren't getting enough in our diet. And again, these are essential amino acids, so the only place that you can get them is from your diet. And if you're not getting enough of them in your diet, then you're not going to build the muscle. And so that's like going out and playing baseball, but only having 3 players instead of 9. I mean, you can do it, but it's not going to be as good of a game, right? And so the amino acids that we need then, we just aren't getting an adequate amounts in our food, and so that's why a product like Ript, we're going to have all 9 essential amino acids, and what that's going to do is Dr. Wolf has proven clinically that it supports optimal protein synthesis in the body, and it converts energy just way beyond to build lean muscle mass. So we're going to have 3 times greater anabolic response, and we're going to have a greater net gain of muscle protein, and it's going to be a really fast-acting. And a lot of people say, well, I already take a whey protein. I already take a protein shake. And the thing about it is that depending on what kind of whey protein you have, they have different processing methods, things like that. But most of the time, they don't have enough of the 9 essential amino acids in the protein shake to actually make it stimulate muscle growth like we want to have.
Okay, so that puts us in a situation where what we have will stimulate the growth and the repair of muscles?
Yeah, we'll rebuild that muscle. So while you're sitting there, while you and I are sitting here doing this call, while everybody's sitting listening to the recording, their body's actually going to be building muscle because you're stimulating it, because you're giving the branched chain amino acids plus the other 6, because 3 of them are branched chain essential amino acids, and then 6 other essential amino acids that your body needs to stimulate muscle. And so really, as we get older, what happens is you start to lose muscle mass. You start to lose muscle mass, which causes problems. Not only does it cause problems with physical movement, but what happens is that you don't have the strength of your bone. If you have a heart attack or you get cancer, it decreases your survival rate, right? If you don't have enough muscle mass, you're not going to have as good a chance of surviving a heart attack or cancer. But the other thing is that they're showing that if you have the right amount of muscle mass, you're going to have proper brain and nerve function. So this stuff all starts to play important together. You start having kind of like when you look at like the age pill. The age pill stimulates the stem cells. It gets the glycation and the lipofuscin on the body. One of the things that I've seen with some of my clients that I have taken the age pill is that a lot of heavy metals, a lot of toxins are actually fat soluble. So as you remove the lipofuscin, lipo, fat, right? You got to associate those two together. As you're removing the fat, the lipofuscin, guess what? You're releasing a lot of toxins back into the body. So along with the age pill, along with the new Ript pill, guess what we need? We need the fucoidan.
Okay, so you cut out there after you said the word fucoidan. You cut out. We need the.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying was that with the body shield and the fucoidan, they'll remove these heavy metals out of the body, and so as you're burning the lipofuscin, as you're melting that fat, again, lipo meaning fat, lipofuscin, a lot of your toxins, your heavy metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, those things are fat soluble. So they're sitting in that fat. So as you're burning the fat, what's going to happen is those toxins are going to be released into the body, and that's one of the reasons that we when we're taking the age pill, you need to be on products like fucoidan, you need to be on the body shield because it's going to work together. And all of a sudden you start seeing synergy of all these products working together.
So, I mean, obviously we're talking about Triangle Life making a massive impact, setting your body up. Now, where does the age pill come in? Because I'm already feeling strength. I mean, so you add that, and Tom was talking about on the call today, you probably heard him say it, about how the age pill comes along, and it's like an A+++ product, and the Ript is an A++ product, and it comes in and supports what it does. But then you add the TSX and Triangle to it, and it is a whammy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And the thing about it is that they all work together. Like people say, oh, we don't need to worry about the telomere product anymore. Well, sure you do, because the age pill isn't doing anything for that part of it. It's not changing the telomeres, the telomerase. And so that's where TSX is so important, because we've included the astragalus extracts, we've included the bacopa extracts, we've included other things. In my opinion, it's the most powerful telomerase product, support product on the market, and so that's another part of it. Think of it like the fuse on your DNA, the time clock, the ticking time clock. If you can slow that down and rebuild that, and science has actually shown that you can do it. You can rebuild this the telomeres, and then you take the age pill, and the age pill it removes the gunk, and it allows the stem cells to go back to work, and that's the problem with aging, is that we're decaying faster than we're rebuilding. And with the age pill, now all of a sudden we can rebuild just as fast as we're decaying, and then you add the body shield, because it will remove the heavy metal toxins that are being released as you're burning the lipofusion. You got to have the eternity because of the resveratrol, because the resveratrol it kicks in these SIRT1 genes, but it needs NAD to fuel it. Right, and where do we get NAD? We get that from the age pill, and then on top of it, Tom's included some extra things in the age pill that bumps up the hydrogen production, and so that's why everybody's feeling this surge of energy at the same time that they're taking it, and so they all start to work hand in hand, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing that your metabolic health is going to improve. You're going to have increased insulin sensitivity. You're going to find that blood pressure and all these different things, not because the product is curing anything. And we have to be careful with that, in that we don't get people to think that we're curing anything. All we're doing is we're giving the body what it needs so that the body can go and fix itself. It can make it so that the cells the receptors are again sensitive to insulin, and again we can make it so that you give the essential amino acids that your body needs to rebuild the muscle. And then for guys like me, where I'm going to the gym and I'm working out, all of a sudden, not only am I rebuilding the muscle that I had, but all of a sudden, like Thomas was talking about on call last night, all of a sudden you start having new muscle. I mean, he goes from bench pressing 165 to 205 pounds in 1 month. I mean, you're gonna have an improvement in body composition. You're gonna lose fat. You're gonna gain muscle mass. Your strength, your vitality, like DW is saying, all of a sudden you're gonna just start feeling like you're young again. And
in the reps that he did at that 165, he was doing about 7, and then a month later he was able to do that amount, 205 or whatever it was at 7. But his deadlift rep was not a deadlift, but his one lift bench press ended up maxing out at 275. That's pretty good for a guy his size. No more time than he had to build up to that. That's actually extremely amazing results.
Yeah, and a lot of people are asking me, they're like, well, what about somebody who's a serious athlete already? I've got a friend of mine down in Minneapolis that does some triathlons and things like that. And he says, well, what about for guys like me? What do I need it for? And I said, well, what you're going to find is that you're going to have better recovery times, and you're going to find that if you take it during your first hour of exercise, you're going to find that you're going to have better muscle mass, and you're going to have more lean muscle that you're going to build up, and you're going to replace the protein that gets broken down while you exercise. And so for those people who are essential or who are serious athletes, I mean, they're going to start seeing some really, really good improvement that way.
That's exciting. Okay, so you mentioned AD something. Was it ADP or T?
ATP, yeah.
ATP. All right, and that is that's the oxygen levels to the stem cell.
Well, the ATP is the energy that it's like the gasoline that you put in your car. It's the form of energy that your body needs to make the Krebs cycle work.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just amazing how all this stuff all of a sudden starts to come into play, right? I'm going to these anti-aging seminars. Last year, I'm finding out about the NAD and the nicotinamide riboside. A couple months later, Tom's announcing, hey, I'm coming out with a product with nicotinamide riboside. And you just know that when he comes out with it, that it's not just going to be another product in that category. It's going to be the product in the category. It's going to be the product that everybody else is chasing after, trying to get a product that works like it. And
let me ask you, how do we talk to someone about the RIP product? So, and just talk to me like you would, because you know that I'm out doing things now. I'm exercising multiple minutes and doing things, every single day. My stamina's way up already with the other. Now, talk to me about RIP. Okay, so I'm on the age pill because I feel like anyone that's on age, on Triangle, on TSX, they're a prime candidate for the RIP product as well. And it's not a pill. The RIP formulation is how I'm referring to it. SiselRipt formula.
Yeah. So how would I explain it to you? I mean, I had a gal on the phone this morning from down in Florida. She called me up and she was asking me, somebody that knew me through somebody else, and she was asking me basically the same question, And the thing about it is that like I was saying earlier, your body needs to maintain, it needs to build muscle over the course of your lifetime. After about the age of 25 or 30, you start to lose muscle mass, especially after the age of 40. You start to lose muscle mass. You gain weight, right? Most people gain weight after the age of 40, but it's not usually muscle. It's not usually lean muscle. After the age of 40, they're putting on body fat. They're not putting on lean muscle. So what the SiselRipt product is going to do is it's going to give you the 9 essential amino acids and that your body needs to build lean muscle. It's going to stimulate your body to build lean muscle. And so even without working out, it's going to give you the building blocks to build that lean muscle. Now, if you work out, if you go into the gym, it's going to work that much better. So that's how I would explain it. And so for those young guys like Thomas or my 3 boys, Joey, Sammy, and Zach, I mean, they're going to the gym all the time. I mean, man, if you saw my kids, I mean, they're just jacked all the time. And so when I told them about this product, they're very interested because as young people, they already are aware that, hey, if they stay healthy now, it's going to be a lot easier later on in their life. If they get overweight, then they not only do they have to lose the weight, but they got to get their health back into control. And so these young people are really interested in that, and they know that this kind of thing is important. There's $20 million that's been spent on research with this. Dr. Robert Wolf has been studying this for years and presenting this kind of thing at the National Institutes of Health, the National Institutes of Aging. And there's 23 studies out on it already, and there's one more study that's supposed to come out later this year. And it's not just for the guys like you and me, that want to get back to our shape. It's for everybody.
Well, can you imagine if you'd had these 2 products before you did your big marathon? What would have been? Where would you be then?
Right. I can't wait to get my hands on this. I mean, actually, is that I want to order mine as soon as possible, so that I have my product, right? And because I'm going to the gym, I'm working out. I've lost 40 pounds this year already. I kind of put everything on hold over the summer. I just kind of wanted to maintain, get my body used to the new body weight, And now my goal is by the end of the winter here, I want to be back down to the weight that I was when I was in college, or when I first got into chiropractic practice when I was 25 years old. That's where I want to be by next spring. And so you bet, I'm looking forward to being on Ripped.
So there, just so you know, it popped up on the website just a few minutes ago and can be ordered. And while we were talking, Miss Helen ordered 3 boxes for us already, and you can order it as of right now. It can be ordered. So the business partner price is, very affordable. I do not know what the retail price is at this point. Helen can text me and let me know if she can find that out. But I believe you get. Now, do you double dose this? I mean, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 60 or 59 in a box. I think is what it's going to be. Sachets to take care of you for a month, basically.
Yeah, I think based on what I've read on it, just follow the instructions that are on the label. It's protein. It's not man-made. This is one of the questions that people ask me. They look at the label and they go, "Oh man, there's phenylalanine in there, right?" And we've heard about the dangers of phenylalanine, over the course of time because of NutraSweet and things like that. And so I want to say this, and I want to make this perfectly clear. You will get asked that question, and so I want people to understand there's different forms of phenylalanine. There's what we call the L-phenylalanine. L is a natural form. It's an essential amino acid. Your body needs it. It's one of the 20 that your body needs. It's essential, which means your body can't make it. And so we use the L-phenylalanine, which is natural. It's a building block to protein. Now, the one that people talk about when they talk about NutraSweet, when they talk about the dangerous form of phenylalanine, that's called D-phenylalanine, or it might be called DL-phenylalanine. And those are both man-made. They're made in a laboratory, and those are the ones that cause problems. And so we want to be perfectly clear. That was one of the things that I wanted to cover on this, is that when you take a look at these amino acids, we use natural forms, and so that the body knows what to do with them. It can build muscle. It can help with depression. You're going to find that when you take this product, you're going to have less problems with anxiety. If you have any anxiety, you're going to have less problems with any kind of depression, because dopamine and serotonin and epinephrine and norepinephrine, they're all made with amino acids. You have to have amino acids, and so you were getting that with this product. And so we're not curing, we're not treating. It's just that your body needs those things to build the building blocks for the neurotransmitters in your body. So not only are you going to build muscle, but you're going to find some other things, some other benefits with it as well. And it's all natural based. It's not man-made. And so I just really wanted to stress that with people, because you will get asked that question. I mean, just trust me, you will get asked that question, GW.
Well, I think it's a great question to be asked, because what that does get us to showcase how we do things, and we do things in a natural way. So you're getting like 60 sachets or 59 sachets for $59.95 business partner cost, and I think you're probably, add 30% to that, another $7 is what's going to be retail, maybe $68, $69 for retail. So you can choose to pay either one. The person that has you listen to this call, either way, Doc. So
yeah, and there's somewhere between 3 to 4 grams of protein in the packets, and so what I've always told people is that you want to get 15 to 20 grams of protein per day in your diet.
Sure.
And so if you're getting if you're getting between 3 to 4 with this, I mean you're getting anywhere between half to a third of your protein, depending on what you want to do. I mean, if you're a bodybuilder and you're using this to build muscle, yeah, you're probably only getting a third of your dietary intake. But most of us, we're not college football players. We're not trying to bulk up, things like that. So we're probably getting closer to half of our protein that we need during the day, and then you combine it with Sizzling. I mean, oh my gosh, you're gonna have a 1-2 punch there.
I like it.
And like Tom was saying yesterday on the call that I had him do with those doctors, is that he was saying you think back, what was the name of that racehorse that way back when?
Secretariat was the one he was referring to today on the call.
Yeah, and that's what he was talking about yesterday. And he said, Secretariat was the winner of the race and broke all those records, but the horse that came in second actually broke the record as well. But I was trying to think, what was the name of the second place horse? You don't even know.
No.
And that's kind of what we got here was the age bill. I mean, that's Secretariat, and Ripped is the number 2 horse, and it's still going to break all the records. And the difference is, if we do this right, people will know the name of the second horse in our race, and that'll be Ripped.
Well, we're just going to do some Rip Your Age parties. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And so, Doc, any last words you want to say before we hop off this call? It's fantastic so far. Absolutely very informative, very helpful, and I think we'll continue on because I got some questions I want to address next week on the muscle issues as well.
You bet. And then, let's just continue where we're at. I mean, between now and then, if people have questions on these different things, shoot them over to us so that we can answer it, because that's how we make this your call. We make this a call for everybody in Sizzle so that they can have their questions answered. And then you don't have to always, be telling people, well, I don't know the answer to that. You can say, hey, let's go on the doctor's clinic, and we'll find out what's the answer to that. So that's the point.
So that one thing was called phenylene or something. How did you pronounce that?
Phenylalanine.
Phenylalanine. How do you spell it?
Phenyalanine. And if you look at the label, we use L-phenylalanine, and that's important because that means that it's natural.
Okay, so T-H-E-N-Y-L, then what?
Phenylalalanine.
All right,
you'll see it on the label.
Well, the important thing is that we use the natural theanine versus the man-made, and that's the difference between night and day.
Yep. So you just remember the L form of phenylalanine, and it's right on the label. It says L-phenylalanine. If you point that out to people and they go look it up online, they'll see that there's no dangers. The FDA considers it safe. And so your kids can take it, we can take it, my dog can take it, and it's safe for us. So
here's the big question: do we? And you may not be able to answer this. I mean, I'm asking for Danielle because she's asked as well. Nursing her new baby, she wants to know if she can use the Ripped and use the age pill.
While she's nursing? While she's nursing. Boy, that's a good question. I'm not going to answer until I look it up.
Okay. And we just need to do a little digging. We thought somewhere that it was mentioned that you might be able to, so we just want to make sure for sure, not guess, really know. So we'll get back with me on that, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I'll look it up before next Tuesday. I'll have your answer.
All right, everybody, that's it for the Doctor's Clinic call. Thank you for participating and having your team on here as well. One of the things that we're asking now is shoot us your questions, only if you want them answered. Give us some time to do a little research, and we'll get the answers. Good, bad, sad, or indifferent. You'll hear back from the doc on what's going on with your own personal health and the personal questions you have for your business partners. Doc, any last words? And thank you for being part of the call, Doc.
Thanks, everyone.
That's it. Where the world is your waiting room. Doctor's Clinic call. Thank you for being involved. Bye-bye.